we'll get this party started right now. We've got Sarah Berg here from Boise, Idaho. So Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. And a lot of people in our area are wondering, should I stay in Washington? Should I move to Idaho? I mean, we're seeing a lot of flux right now with COVID and all the changes in the US of people that are, wanting to make big changes in their life just because of what's been going on with COVID and deciding, hey, what's important to me? So tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been selling in Idaho, Sarah.
So I've been in Idaho for 22 years. And so I think I'm an adopted native is what I'm called. But yeah, no, I actually was in the corporate world for almost 30 years, and I made a change in the last 3 years into real estate. It was one of those things, midlife, what do you really want to do? Are you enjoying what you're doing? And I was very fortunate. I did a lot of informational interviews. Lysi Bishop was the #1 team in the state. She was very gracious to allow me just to have a conversation with her, to learn from her as to what she liked about real estate, and I was sold. So I was able to join her team and have been doing really very, very well.
Well, you started when the market just started to be on fire and everybody said, take me to Idaho, baby.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm sure you've been hustling. So that's a great story. And, I what you want to be when you grow up, right? You keep getting older and you're like, I want to make a change. I want to make a change and do something different. So good for you.
Yeah, this is something I've always wanted to do. I always made an excuse as to it wasn't the right time, and so no more excuses. And I really wish I would have done it a long time ago. I'm enjoying every minute of it.
So tell me a little bit about why you love Idaho and why everybody is flocking into Idaho right now.
People are flocking into Idaho for a lot of different reasons. Most of it is because of the quality of life that we have here. We have a really unique settings for, especially in Boise, where we have the foothills, the river, a green belt, temperate climates all year round. We have all 4 seasons, but nothing that's really, very harsh or severe. We're right at the base of the foothills, so we see the mountains and we see the snow. It's a 20-minute drive to get into them if we want to access them. And it's just, it's a great place with a lot of different things for people to do, especially outdoors activities. But we're also a really strong economic, community. We have really strong business, really strong startups. I think Boise and the surrounding communities, the mayors, the leadership, even the governor, have done a very nice job in saying, let's collectively decide how we want to grow, how we want smart growth to occur. What does that mean? What does that look like? Where are we strong? Where are we weak at? What do we need to boost up? Especially as all of these people are coming in. So they're doing a good job in not only, building homes for the people to live in, but attracting business and commerce, which are bringing more people here.
I think what's so cool too, Vince and I went to Idaho a couple months ago too, is your culture downtown, your restaurant scene, you're right by the university there. And then the other thing that fascinated me too is like 20 to 25-minute drive and you were rural. So you could hit Star, Meridian, and some of these other places that were absolutely beautiful. And what also shocked me too, because Anacortes is an island, so we only have so much land and most of it's not flat, is how much room you guys really had to grow, with multiple developments and a lot of new communities. So tell me a little bit about what's happening with the construction there and what you guys are seeing for new communities being built up.
Yeah. So we're real estate across the US is being impacted right now. I mean, the interest rates, and to your point earlier, quality of life. People don't have to be in these cities. They can move to a place where they can get a little more land or have a different style or quality of life. And so that's affecting real estate across the US, in Boise in particular. If you look at the numbers, we have a shortage. In a fair, balanced market, 4 or 5 months of inventory. We have days.
Yeah.
We literally have days of inventory. Yet, if you take a look on a monthly basis, we have 1,200 transactions. As an average. This is broken down in a lot of different ways. So even though we might have, say, 85 homes on for one day, we have 1,200 transactions occurring in a month. So it still means that there's a lot of growth and there's a lot of activity out there. You just need to be prepared. You need to make sure you have your financing in place. You need to make sure you're real clear on where you're looking and why you're looking and what you're looking for. And then, we can go from there.
So let's say I'm a new buyer and I just made the determination of like, hey, I want to leave Anacortes, Oak Harbor area, and Boise is calling my name. Am I going to be able to reasonably be able to get in a house there? So what's your medium price point? And I mean, should I be looking 3 months in advance? What should be my timeline if I wanted to, purchase a house in Boise? What would the timeline look like?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna branch it out just a little bit because there's Boise, but then we have a lot of growth to the west. That's where all the new construction is happening. That's where there's new opportunity. And so when I actually look at things, it's not just Boise. You have basically two counties. You have Ada County, which is Boise, Eagle, Meridian. That's kind of the Boise area. And then you have the next county over to the west, which is Canyon County, which is Napa, Caldwell, Middleton, and some of those. Very two different counties, but they're merging together. They're blending together. So when you say come to Boise, there's a lot of questions to ask. What are you looking for? What kind of lifestyle do you want? What do you want to be close to? Where are you working? What do your drive times want to be? And then what are you looking for in a home? Are you looking for an acreage? Are you looking for new construction, resale? And every single one of these has a different price point. As an example, in Boise or Ada County, the largest county, the average resale price, home price is $427,000.
Wow, that's not bad. I mean, compared to ours, we're sitting about 565 for Anacortes. And then I guess take me to some of the outskirts or some of the areas you just talked about. So let's say I'm comfortable driving at even an hour to Boise. Like, hey, I just want to sometimes go in and have a nice meal or enjoy some activities. If I bought an hour outside or half an hour outside, I mean, what would that do to my price range?
Well, so the average price in Canyon County, which is the next county over, is $295,000.
Wow.
$295,000.
What
so
is that
$295,000 to $427,000 in average sales price, quite a bit different. You can also in Boise specifically, there's a lot of really great things. You can be in the foothills and things, but you're going to look probably at a smaller plot of land. If you go west, you have an opportunity to buy some more acreages. Although I will admit, with new construction, with the deficit that we have, the new construction is coming in and they're making those really small lots so they can get as many homes in as they can. But the point is there's diversity in the area.
Right. So could you get a brand new construction for the 300,000 in the area you were just talking about? I mean, is that doable or is that more of a resale home?
Yeah, so that's a resale home at $295,000. New construction in the same county average is $338,000.
And
not too far, Pop.
No, it's not. And what would that be like? 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and maybe 1,500 square feet-ish, or I mean, around there, or give or take?
Around there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my other question too is let's say you want, because of the lack of inventory, which is exactly what we're faced here in Anacortes, is we only have 20 homes on. We're struggling just like you are. So if somebody said, okay, well, hey, I want to be in this county and I want to secure a new construction at 333,000, how long is it taking from start to finish to be in that home? Is it about 6 months or is it a little bit longer than that?
It's going to be dependent upon the area. It's going to be dependent upon the neighborhood and the builder.
Okay.
Both of those things. We have some high production builders where you can get in within 6 months. You have a lot of other builders who are just really stretched and you're looking at about 18 months, maybe a little bit longer. So it's all over the board. And if you have timing considerations, we'll work with that. I mean, that's how we'll search and that's how we'll uncover things for you. But yeah, I mean, I think the builders are strapped. They're doing as much as they can. Some of them are overextended and are out at that 18 month time frame. A lot of them are going to be probably within that 6 to 12 months. So some of them less. A lot of high production builders. The top production builder in the area, only puts things on when they're about 60 days out. So they'll start advertising them 60 to 90 days out and you can get in right away.
Wow, that's great. So tell me some of the attractions, like Boise and the surrounding areas, you know, what do people do for fun when, let's just pretend COVID's not here. So what are the outdoor activities? What is there, wineries around there? Is there golf courses? Tell me what people do for fun, or what you guys like to do for fun.
I like to describe the Boise area as a really organic community. It's people come here and want to be here for the right reasons and for the same reasons, to be honest. The outdoors, as I stated, is really important. We have about 190 miles worth of trails in our foothills, just literally at the base of Boise, downtown. You can walk out and go almost anywhere, hike, bike, walk. We also have a river that runs right through the city, and along that is a green belt, which is about 25 to 30 miles of paved path right along the river. That's how I prefer to get around in the summer, to be honest. If I can ride my bike or if I can walk anywhere and I don't have to drive, that's better for me. It takes you right through downtown, takes you through the zoos, to the museums. As you mentioned, our downtown is very robust. It's not extravagantly big, but there's a lot going on. You know, you've got 10 blocks that you can walk up and down on, and there's always something to see and do. We're a foodie town for sure. We have a lot of farm to table, you know, kind of culinary experiences, which are great. We use, you know, local farmers and produce and whatnot as much as we can. You'll also find a lot of wine and craft beers here. As a matter of fact, we have an old section of town, or a section of town that's kind of surrounded by Boise. It's called Garden City. Used to be a you know, kind of a lower population industrial area, and they've converted a lot of that community into these kind of craft and industrial warehouse shops and retail. So, you know, that's fun.
So just kind of curious. So in Anacortes, we keep seeing a lot of Californians move in, and a lot of people up the King County area. So I-5 corridor, Seattle, Bellevue. I mean, we're kind of getting inundated with people moving from out of those areas into our rural areas. So where are you seeing people move from to Idaho? I mean,
a lot of, based on driver's license data, a lot of our movement is coming from Washington, from Oregon, from California, from Utah, Colorado, and even Texas.
Nice.
There's also kind of an affinity between like Arizona or some of those southern states in here. They like to live both places.
So how warm do you get in the summer? What's your temperature?
Oh, you know what? We actually have a really great summer. I would say 80s and 90s predominantly. We'll probably have 3 weeks maybe where it touches in the hundreds. But we're in a desert climate, so it's not humid, and you can find shade and get really.
I love it. So let's see. So what have you been seeing year over year in the real estate market in Idaho? I mean, it's just, I'm sure it's just as crazy as it is here, there, but.
The last 3 years, we've seen unprecedented growth. We've seen increases anywhere from 13 to 16 to 19% in our average sales price. Obviously, that's depending upon locations, different parts of the community, but just overall, some really, really strong numbers that are kind of hard for a lot of local people here to grasp, to be honest.
Yeah, no,
we've also seen our $1 million market grow.
Yeah, the luxury market.
Yeah. That, you know, what, 5 years ago, we had maybe a handful. And now this year, or 2020 rather, we had 179 just alone in Ada County.
Yeah, luxury market seems to be on fire right now. Same way, there's certain areas that around our surrounding area where you barely see one sell a year, and now there's 20. I mean, it's just, it's insane. So the big bucks are definitely out for sure. Well, the money's cheap right now, let's be honest. I mean, a jumbo loan you can get for almost nothing. So it's pretty incredible. And the economy is so strong, so people are, you know, willing to invest in real estate with those type of returns. I mean, crazy. Where can you see a 16% appreciation?
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point. You know, a lot of people say, is it a cash market? And, you know, to some extent it is, and probably at certain price points more than others. But because the money is so, I mean, interest rates are so low right now, money's really cheap. And so we find a lot of people that can afford to pay cash. They just but why, you know?
I know.
So, you know, sometimes it's 60-40, sometimes it's 50-50, but it's pretty equal.
Keep your cash.
From my
That's all.
assessment of who's coming into the market and how they're paying.
Yeah, when you're seeing 2.25% on that loan, why would you spend your cash on it? I mean, it's a no-brainer to me.
Right.
So,
Right.
So ways to make your move easy to Idaho. What do you recommend?
Contact us. It's really easy. You know, there's a lot of different places. People might say Boise, but there's so much more. And it really depends upon why are you moving and what do you want to access? What do you want to live, you know, live next to? Are you downsizing? Are you upsizing? You know, size of property, all those sorts of things. But, you know, we just have a good conversation and we really try to put together the right search that, you know, that fits your needs. We go through numbers, let you know what to expect, what's happening at that price point or in those communities. And, you know, just overall give you a good feel. I know that the area may not be for everyone, but I firmly believe in let's vet this together. Let's give you as much information that you need in order to make the decision that's right for you.
So let me ask you this. What would be your top 2 small towns surrounding Idaho, Boise area? Well, if you wanted a small town feel, what would you recommend?
Oh my gosh. Well, that's a tough one because if I were to go small, I might even go up into the mountains a little bit. I might not stay in the flatlands where Boise is. So, you know, we have several small little communities in the mountain towns, if you will. But otherwise, yeah, if you're coming down, I would say understand that, you know, Boise used to be the center, now it's shifting west. And what that means is all of the business and commerce and residential used to be here. Now the center is really shifted over towards, you know, Meridian and to the west a little bit. So
Meridian's been booming.
Yeah, it just opens up a lot of opportunity. And they put in retail. So you have really fine restaurants and shopping and all of those sorts of things. You don't have to come into Boise, you know, unless of course you want what it offers. I think that's been the biggest thing is not only has the growth been into those communities from a residential perspective, but the economic partnerships have really come together to bring retail and business and you know, work out to those communities so they don't have to drive so far.
So Sarah, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but I always have to ask, what do you expect for 2021 in the real estate market in Idaho?
Oh my gosh, that's going to be.
Give us your magician.
I think Boise is going to continue to be attractive. Idaho is going to continue to be attractive for a lot of different reasons. And so I don't really, and with that, I think the shortage is here to stay for a little bit at least. I don't think that we will build enough in the next 12 months in order to really see a significant difference. But I do hope that things level off a little bit. I hope that there's a little bit of balance that's brought in. I don't think that we're going to see a bubble. I don't think we're going to see anything significant like we, you know, did 10 plus years ago. But I do hope that things slow a little bit and, you know, we don't see these 13, 16, 19% increases, you know, again this year.
And just to put that in perspective for our viewers out there, is a healthy normal market in real estate is a 4 to 6% appreciation. That's
Correct.
a normal market. So when we're talking 13 to 18%, I mean, it's crazy numbers right now. So
right. Well, and to have enough inventory out there to be at least 3-4 months to satisfy all the buyers coming in, and we are literally a couple of weeks, you know, within 30 days. That's important to note, you know, as well. That just tells people that they need to be prepared.
right.
And I mean, there's plenty of sales and plenty of transactions going on in a month. I'm not worried about it. I tell all my clients that we will find the right thing. It will come in time. It's meant to be. But we just have to be ready to, you know, persevere and you know, maybe shift expectations a little bit.
So I have to ask you, because this is common in our market right now, are you seeing multiple offers and escalation? And if you're seeing escalation, what is it taking to win?
Oh, There's another crystal ball. Thank you
Yeah,
very
there you
much.
go, girl.
Oh man, honestly, yes, we are seeing multiple offers at all levels. It's not only the 3, 4, 500 thousand price point; it's at the $1 million price point as well. And the first question I ask, just it's kind of a dart throw. What does 10% mean to you? Can you add 10%? And how does that feel, to the sales price? And then how do we need to shift it from there to see that you feel comfortable? I don't think everything is 10% over. I'm not saying that, but I am saying you do kind of have to take a big leap like that. If the property is the right property and you know that you're going to have a lot of competition on it, you got to be pretty aggressive. And then of course, that affects appraisals, that inspections, all those sorts of things that you can do to remove, to not make the seller question, what your offers are really about, and to give you a lot more strength. Those are the things we're having to do.
So let's put that back into perspective for everybody, because I like to do the same thing. We're seeing about a 3% on some houses is what we're seeing for where the cards fall with who wins roughly for our escalations around town. But put that into perspective. Okay, so if you have to pay 10% in an escalation for the house, but this year alone, you're predicting it could be, maybe let's say you're making 15%. Well, you're already ahead 5% by the year end of 2021 if we see a trajectory of a 15% appreciation, right?
Correct. And then you also have to look, what is your long-term play here? If you're going to be here 5-10 years, that's going to be completely different. If you're only going to be here for a couple of years, that's a totally different conversation.
No, and I am a firm believer in that too. If you're here for 2 or 3 years, it might not be the best move, but if you're going to be here for 5 to 10, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else you wanted to talk about, Idaho? I know we covered most of the questions that I had for you, but anything you maybe wanted to share or?
No, I think that we've grown so much, and yet our community has grown with us. I think that there's so many really, really great things that we have to offer here. And I think it's at least worth a visit. You can study it from afar, but come here and experience everything and see for yourself. I actually have a really good story. Just this last weekend, somebody was debating, they had a choice. They got a new job and had a choice of where they could live, and they moved, so they were just coming into communities. They came here, spent a couple of days, just did what they like to do. They found that they were able to do that here. I took them to a couple of neighborhoods. They put an offer in on the house, got it, and now they're moving to Boise. When they came, they weren't even thinking that they were going to move. But everything kind of fell in place. So I would just say, come and experience it for yourself and see.
I love it. No, thank you so much. Wealth of knowledge. And anybody that's watching and wants more information, I'm going to put you in touch with Sarah. And if you're planning a trip to go house hunt, or I'm sure she can do virtuals or FaceTimes with you as well. We do a lot of that here in Anacortes. But I can get you her phone number and email, and then you can make contact with her and definitely get more information and find out more about specific areas. And it's crazy because I don't know about you, but we sell a lot of houses sight unseen around here, just because of the competition, and people can't get there fast enough to see it. So that's something we use in our marketplace quite a bit. But Sarah, your wealth of knowledge, I know you guys are the #1 team, and that is why I called you, because we're the #1 team here in Washington. And I wanted to get someone that was a knowledge broker and had a lot of value about the surrounding area in Idaho. So thanks again so much for joining us. I appreciate your time, and I'll put anybody that's in touch with you guys, and you can help them out. And I know they'll be in excellent hands.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.